Welcome back to Weekend Prime. I'm Robinson Okenye. Now, 2 lives were lost after a 14-story building collapsed in Nairobi South Sea area, reigniting national outrage over unsafe construction. As leaders issued new statements and trade blame, Kenyans are asking harder questions about corruption, weak enforcement and substandard materials. With building collapses becoming routine and data showing a significant number of structures are unsafe, this tragedy exposes a deeper failure of oversight. Haman Kamariki with this week's Face the Facts.
Welcome to Face the Facts. You know, Kenyans do not need press conferences. All they need is safety. Let's look at these 2 pictures. You know, 2 people lost their lives in the recent collapse of a 14-story building in Nairobi South Sea area, and this tragic incident has sparked public outcry and renewed calls for the government to tighten controls on the construction industry.
First and foremost, every construction is supposed to be supervised by professionals. No building comes up without registration of this size, without registration by NCA.
Do you know the building that collapsed in South Sea last Friday didn't topple, it fell flat. And the blame goes beyond individuals and engineers. The issue lies deep into the real estate market. In the South Sea 14-story building collapse, where 2 people died, press statements have been read. Counter statements and blame shifting continues. The country's leadership seemingly to mostly deal with the outcome rather than the real issue.
If they had followed the approved guidelines and licenses, possibly we wouldn't have gone the way we went.
Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja lives were lost on Friday, and their families currently grieving. Kenyans are asking for answers and not public relation explanation and press statements saying action will be taken. You know, Kenyans have had this over time and over years.
The building had approvals, and those approvals were properly issued. The enforcement that was being done was on certain infractions, because you know, when you refuse inspection or you go beyond the line, what we do is to charge them. And I think we've shown when we did enforcement notices when they were charged. But see, the problem that we're facing is that for us to charge somebody, unlike before we had prosecutors in the county, now you have to rely on an independent office.
You say the county approved 4 extra floors for the South Sea building. The developer agrees that that's what happened. But the Lands Cabinet Secretary says that approval violated national construction laws and hints that money may have exchanged hands. Listen to her.
So everybody involved must have taken some shortcuts. And therefore, the county did the last maybe nail, put the last nail on the, coffin, because they approved 4 other floors.
That alone should have triggered arrests and not microphones left, right, and center. Madam Lance CS Alice Wahome, if there is information that corruption took place, Kenyans do not want hints anymore. You can keep your hints to yourself. State things as they are and tell the country who is possibly to blame. We want names, files, and action, not commentary. And to the National Construction Authority, at what point did you know this building was unsafe? I'm questioning. Did you know it when the extra floors were added, when the cracks appeared, or only after it collapsed? And now you came saying you know it, and you know money exchanged hands. You know, because Kenyans are tired of institutions that only speak up after people die, let us be clear that the collapsed building in South Sea did not fall flat by accident. There are reports that a county officer inspecting this building was chased away violently and he broke his leg. If an officer enforcing safety laws can be attacked, what chance does an ordinary Kenyan have? This tragedy is not about South Sea alone. It is about a country where 35 out of every 100 buildings are considered unsafe, where substandard cement floods the market, and where enforcement depends on who you know.
I will deregister if I'm told that the contractor was the problem. I will deregister the contractor. I will suspend the license of the architect if I find through the report that he went 3 other floors or 1 extra floor without approval by NCA.
Governor Sakaja, stop managing optics, manage safety. Lanciers Alice Wahome, stop issuing warnings, issue prosecutions. And to the National Construction Authority, NCA, stop auditing after collapse, enforce before construction begins. Because every delay, every cover-up, every corrupt handshake turns buildings into human hazards. Kenyans are not angry because a building collapsed. They are angry because it was allowed to collapse. That's first the facts. I am Haman Kamariki, and I hope this will be taken into consideration.